Welcome. Are you just like me, sick and tired of modern games? Are you longing for a time when games used to be exactly that? Games, and not some form of subscription model or pay-to-win shenanigan? Well, you came to the right place, my friend. My goal here is to dig through the trash to give you the best and most fun, action-packed indie games on this planet. And the second half of October is looking absolute fire. So let's do this. And oh, by the way, don't miss the first half of October video. It's linked down in the pinned comment. Now let's go. Developed by a developer who worked on both Skyrim, Starfield and Fallout, he brings us a game that tries to be metal, a game that tries to be horror, a game like we haven't really seen before. We get to hunt nightmarish monsters from ancient folklore in a mysterious open world, collecting their enhanced sense powers and discovering elemental arrows. So in other words, it thrusts us into an open world 5 times as big as Skyrim's map. It doesn't have a clear story in your face, it will require you to look for notes scattered throughout to get the grips of what's going on. But what I really like about this game is that it blends arcade with realism. So, for you to hunt something down, you will have to follow its blood trails, look for clues, pay attention to the wind, all without a clear HUD. The whole HUD is located on the bow itself. But at the same time, the arrows are magical, you have upgrades and skills, and the monsters themselves are anything but realistic, drawing inspiration from folklore and metal. The Axis Unseen has a demo out right now, and it's dropping on the 22nd of October. Moon Mystery, my gosh, I am so hyped for this one. Developed by a small team of indie developers, this game actually started out as a solo developer project. But as it gained attention, it also gained funds to get some solo into a team. Now, this is not your traditional space game. This game will thrust you into so many different dreamlike environments, mechanics and things to do that I'm not sure what to expect from the full game. I mean, of course, more than being extremely excited to find out. Now, it did have a demo out some time ago and I recorded gameplay of it. I'll leave that down in the pinned comment to check it out. But what caught my attention the most with the demo was the jaw-droppingly good environment, the exciting story, but also the incredible variation in things, which also scared me a little bit, as some things like riding a submarine or RC car didn't quite feel as good or high quality as the rest of the game. So has the scope been too big even for a small team of developers? Or have they nailed this varied and unique experience? Find out on October the 28th. Testicle eating, witchcraft, faulty burnt alive, out to seek revenge in an old school late 90s fashion. That's Coven for you right there, developed by Gatorshins, which is a solo developer and also a really awesome dude. Now this game has had my attention for a very long time now and it's finally dropping into early access. Now the first episode that is releasing will take us through an alternate 1600s where our protagonist seeks revenge for being burnt alive. Resurrected by an unknown force, this game quickly turns into a hyper-violent shooter loaded with guns, magic, puzzles, and eating the bodies of your fallen enemies to regain health. But that is just the start of it all. You see, the other 2 episodes dropping during early access will take us through time and space itself. So expect there to be some crazy good variety to this one, even though episode is shaping up to look mighty freaking fine. Now Coven has a demo out for you to try right now and I highly recommend you go and test it if you haven't. It's a rather hefty one that shows off in a great way how well thought out and developed this game is, from the smallest of details to the fastest of gunplays. And then prepare to experience the full episode on the 24th of October. Why haven't you joined the Discord yet? Oh, you're a little bit shy? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's a very friendly, welcoming place, and it's loaded with people discussing games every single day and out to make new friends. It is a really sweet place for us gamers. And if you don't like it, you're free to leave whenever you want to, but do join it and see what it's like before you leave, okay? How are you supposed to leave if you haven't joined the Discord? Let's continue. Retro goodiness at its absolute finest? Honestly, I don't know. I haven't played this one back in the day, but what I do know is that it definitely piques my interest quite a lot now. Now, Night Dive and Cigarette Studios banded together to resurrect this one. Two very well-known names in the retro shooter scene. And comparing the old version to this new one, it seems like they have done an incredible job retaining the old school look and feel, but with new high-res sprites, audio and effects. Now, for the newcomers to the game like myself, I'll tell you this. We get to journey into a mansion on the island of Matinicus, where you'll arrive to find the mansion full of hellacious demonic creatures. We get to solve deadly puzzles, uncover the secrets behind a famous mystery, and discover an ancient artifact from the Pharaoh Ramses, if you can live long enough to find it. And I certainly intend to live long enough to find out on the 18th of October. Now this one is not your standard Left 4 Dead co-op zombie shooter. This is something very different. My friends, no more room in hell 2. That thrusts you and 7 co-op buddies into a huge map, which for starters will be on the outskirts of a city near a power plant. And as the early access period goes, more areas of this huge map will be unlocked. As a rescue responder, you will be tasked with different objectives on this humongous map, and these objectives will always be differing from your last run. But that's not all that will differ. There is a lot of risk and reward tied to this game. As an example, death is permanent. If you die, you lose all your progress, but if you survive, you will become a lot more powerful. And each risky move, like risking your own life to save a teammate, will in the end reward you and your team, at least the ones still alive. It's going to be a challenging game. Ammo will be scarce at first. You will have to bury crowbars in the heads of the zombies before becoming more packed to deal with them in other ways. And each and every move you make could potentially alert one or multiple zombies. Now these are not stupid zombies either. They both see and hear you and each other. So get ready to experience the permadeath on the 22nd of October. South Park meets boomer shooter in a very unique, thrilling, amazing roguelite? Well, let me introduce Sulphur, probably my most hyped game in all of 2024. I helped present this bad boy at Comic-Con last year, but even before that, and even before the demo that is currently available, I was mad in love with the style of this game. It's unique to say the least, and it's extremely well done. From the music to the insane loot, this just screams of passion and quality. Now we get to play in this very mysterious world, out to find answers, but to get these answers, we must push forward into goblin-infested areas. Luckily though, these goblins offer some insane loot, weapons, attachments, ammo, upgrades, food. Oh yeah, you can also combine food and make some even crazier dishes. And we can even come across some friendly stranger creatures that will offer guidance, warnings, and absolute insane amount of other things. Too much to even list in this video. In other words, this is one that you really have to experience, and I urge you to go and download the demo and wishlist this one right now. Or if you're patient enough, await the 28th of October for its early access release. Step right up to Carnival of Souls, a heart-pounding first-person roguelite shooter set in a twisted carnival world filled with strange dimensions. We get to navigate vibrant landscapes connected by mysterious portals and face relentless waves of enemies. With an arsenal of powerful weapons and upgrades at your disposal, your success depends on quick thinking and skill. How long can you survive the Carnival of Souls? I'm definitely not sure for how long I will survive, but I am sure that I really like this low-poly world, how it combines the low-poly models with simple textures yet superb lighting to bring an atmosphere and some really good VFX effects. And I also like how smooth the weapons and their animations look. Sure, it doesn't make a bad game good just because it has good weapon animations, but it does increase the feel, satisfaction, and overall enjoyment of the game, and it looks like this one nails it, and we can find out sometime in October, since they still haven't given us an exact date for unknown reasons.
Harbinger of death, your task has begun.
Reaper, a game from a very cool developer, DOSman Games, known for its micro first-person shooter games that simply screams of personality, charm, and fun.
Many
Now comes their most ambitious game, featuring a single-player campaign taking place across huge expansive levels, a trials mode, a one-hit kill challenge over various small arenas, full voice acting with many cameos, boss fights, dark humor, stunning pixel art, original soundtrack, and an assortment of underworldly weapons, diverse and hellish enemy types. Oh yeah, that sounds like a good jam if you ask me. Now, in this game, we play as Death Incarnate, and we need to follow the guidance of a mysterious spirit tasking us with collecting the souls of a series of targets and condemning them to the hell below on the 29th of October. Oh, now this is a really sweet third-person roguelike shooter. It has a bit of that indie Unreal Engine feel to it, but it's done right. The shooting, it feels great. The 3 different androids you can play as are fun and varies from one another. The enemy design, while a bit sci-fi generic, still reacts to getting shot and offers a variety of challenge. And with that said, expect to die in this game. The game, it doesn't hold back on throwing enemies and different challenges your way, but at the same time it doesn't hold back on throwing upgrades your way either. So practice, get good, and use the right upgrades to get far in this wonderfully crafted sci-fi environment that you can experience right now, because yeah, the game is already out.
Bring it on!
I really don't want to put this one in the video, since the demo, it threw me off big time. And yes, I'm even talking about their updated demo. It's still a mess, sadly. But I also know that I would get a lot of comments saying I missed this one. So just to prove to you that I didn't miss it, here's Slipgate. And judging from the demo, a really buggy experience that really doesn't know what it wants to be, releasing on the 31st of October. Forgive Me Father 2 is finally dropping in its final 1.0 form, featuring the full episode 3 and 4, with a ton of new weapons, enemies, and story parts to not only make this story easier to follow along with, but also conclude it. A new game plus and fresh abilities, and I know that I, for one, cannot wait to jump into this H.R. Geiger-inspired comic book-looking metal-infused boomer shooter once more. And I also have 3 copies of the game to give away during my stream of the final 2 episodes, so don't miss that. It's going to take place one day before its launch, meaning on the 23rd of October. And of course, go and wishlist the game right now and start building the hype for the 1.0 release. It's a very solid, high-quality boomer shooter experience that every first-person shooter fan needs to experience.
What you intervene with here is far bigger than you can comprehend. And here you are, smashing things with guns and fists.
Well, it seems to have worked so far. Repent, motherfuckers!
Oh, Murrain is a very interesting boomer shooter. Let me start by dropping a few key features of the game. It has a multi-episode campaign with a fully voiced cast. It also has guns, lots of very loud guns, multiple upgrades for each gun with different effects, game modifiers and various replayability options, multi-choice dialogue sections with romanceable characters, multiple horde mode maps, a freaking roguelite game mode, a leveling system with unlockable character outfits, HUDs and concept art, sick riffs and synths. And on top of that, this is a solo project built from passion for shooter games, and it's loaded with gore. Now the downside to it, in my own opinion, is that it seems like the hand-drawn graphics, they're kinda lacking 1 or 2 frames for the gun animations to nail that satisfying feel and look. As is now, it looks a little bit stale, but hey, we can still have a good time with it on the 25th of October. Thank you a million times for watching all the way to the end. Broski, you're amazing. You know that I think that. Papa Slim loves ya. And I will see you in the next one. Over and out.